What is up, party people? I am back. Squid is over here, and I'm talking about some light olive concealer slash one foundation recommendations. I have been through so many concealers, and I have extremely dark under eyes, as many olive skin toned people do. And I also have dry ish eyes. They always crease, they always have texture, etc. So I'm looking for something that's hydrating, but also full coverage, and that is self-setting because I do not ever set my concealer. I find that one, it takes away from the coverage, and two, it looks very dry on my skin. So that is kind of what I'm looking for in a concealer. I'm also extremely green, and I found that a lot of companies don't cater toward green people. It's unfortunate. One of the first, though, nice segue, is Rare Beauty. I feel like they, alongside Fenty, were the two companies that really were mainstream brands coming out with olive concealer ranges. That being said, I tried this before. It is a staple in a lot of Olive's makeup bags. However, for me, it's a little too yellow. What I'll also do is I will shear it out over here so you have a better idea of texture, etc. And this, again, it's a little bit too warm for me, which is unfortunate. I know that I think it's a 130, 130 or 135N is a staple in a lot of olive makeup bags as well. It's 130N and it's more neutral, but on me, I still find that it's a little bit too pink. So I think I'm going to end up decluttering this because even though it's a really decent foundation if you want full coverage, it's thin enough, but it doesn't need additional setting. I think I'm going to declutter it because it's personally not the finish that I would like. Wanna come down? Come down. It's not the finish I like because it's a little more matte. I don't know if you can see exactly how matte it is, but it is pretty matte right there. So I'm going to let this oxidize as well. Some of these oxidize, unfortunately. So I'm going to declutter this guy, but I just wanted to swatch it for those that are more warm leaning and not as neutral. This is a new addition because Alexandra Anele, boom, recommended it. And I really enjoy it, especially because my under eyes are pretty neutral. And this is it sheared out right there. And then this is the 170W. And then this is how they look in comparison. And definitely more neutral. It does have a little bit of a pinkish hue to it. So I would be mindful of that, especially if you're in direct sunlight a lot. It's noticeable. But in comparison to this, which is more orange, I would much prefer this. So that is 0.5N. And then this is a 170W. And this I use on a daily basis lately. I think that my under eyes really enjoy it. However, it does fade throughout the day. So I would have to reapply it, or I would have to use it in conjunction with something else. I'm going to keep this because I just bought it, but I don't think it's going to be a repurchase. This guy is my summer shade. It's 1W from Dior. after they reformulated the best formula I've ever tried. This is my summer shade right here. And this is 1W. They reformulated and took out some preservatives, etc., which is kind of a bummer, because I love that concealer and they ruined it, so that's cool. And 1W sheared out looks as orange as it does on me right now. So this is 170W, this is 0.5 neutral, and this is 1W. And that's how they look side by side. This is a decent formula. I feel like of these, it's definitely more full coverage than the Kosas concealer. This is full coverage, but again, I'm not really a fan of the finish. So this I'm going to keep until the summer, and then afterward I think I'm going to part ways because it's getting pretty old as well. Now, Hot Mess Tom classified this as the Shape Tape for elder millennials, and I could not agree anymore. This is the Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer, and it's in the shade N95. And this is how it looks. Very pink still on my skin, which is unfortunate. And then let me sheer it out. I like this. I think that it is a bit too dry of a formula for me personally, and it also creases. I mean, everything creases, right? But this, it does emphasize some texture throughout the day. I'm not a fan. So that also I'm going to part ways with. This I bought this week because I thought this was a really great shade match for me. It's a little, for a brightener. It's very brightening, so I've been placing it in the inner corners of my eyes. And I've been using it in conjunction with 0.5N from Kosas. And I think it gives decent, very medium coverage. And throughout the day they do fade, but they look a lot better than a lot of the other options that I've discussed. And let me sheer it out. And it'll definitely look light on my skin. But I think it's great for fair olives for sure, especially fair neutral olives, because it doesn't oxidize as crazily as a lot of the other formulas, and it's really great for textured eyes, old eyes, etc. I think it's a great formula, and they have a few. This is in BH. They also have BU, but that was a little bit too yellow on me, I believe. Either too yellow or too pink, one of the two. So it was not really my shade match, but the BH is really great for lightening. In the dead of winter, that's going to be awesome. So those are the 5 side by side. Rare Beauty, Kosas, Dior, Givenchy, and the Tower 28. Now, these guys. This is Y1 and Y2 in the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, whatever, formula. This is Y1. And I'll put it right here. Very neutral, very light. Y1. This is Y2. Right there. Definitely not light or neutral. It's more of a darker orangey shade. And this is how they look sheared out. What I do with both of these is I mix them, and I'll do that as well. Y1, sorry, Y1, Y2, Y1, Y2. What I have done forever is I have mixed the two. Here, I'll do it right there. But it's a pain in the butt every morning. And I think, unfortunately, it's inevitable because these are some of my favorite concealers. They're extremely creamy and they are very hydrating, which I like. So that is Natasha Denona High Glam Y1, Y2, and then this is a mixture of both. And I feel like this combined with a corrector really does a great job at covering my dark under eyes. And I think it's great. It's also, as you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's a little pink, but it definitely helps conceal my under eyes very well, and I like the formula a lot. And the final thing that I have for you is F2 from About Face. It's F2 Olive. Right there. And this is how that looks on my skin tone. And this is how it shears out. So I like this formula a lot, especially for combination skin types and dry skin, which I have. However, I find that even though this is very hydrating and flexible, I feel like it clings onto very dry patches, i.e. my chin. My chin, it always has a little bit of texture that I want to cover up, and I use this foundation. I like spot conceal with the foundation, and I still find that it is patchy. So I would not recommend it for like super dry patches. I would prefer a concealer, even the High Glam concealer from Natasha or the Kosas, and you can always set your face without losing too much coverage. But for foundation purposes, I more so do like my cheeks with hyperpigmentation, and I stay away from the drier areas. So, as a recap, 170 from Rare Beauty, 0.5 from Kosas, 0.5N, I'm sorry. The Dior Forever Skin Correct in 1W. The Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer in N95, crazy. BH in the Tower 28 concealer, High Glam Y1 and Y2 from Natasha Denona, High Glam Y1 and Y2 mix from Natasha Denona, and the About Face F2 Olive foundation. Yes, we did it. We did it, guys. So let me just freeze that so you can take a look. And then these are all the swatches on my arm. Blend it out. Bang. So that's my olive recommendations. The one powder that I have is Fair Light. I tried Fair 5 or Light 5, whichever. And I did not like that because it was way too bright for me. This is perfect. I think it's a great yellow leaning powder, but as you can see, it's pretty neutral. So I think this is an awesome formula as well. I was really flirting with getting the Givenchy one, but maybe for my wedding if I end up doing my own makeup, which I probably will. I forgot to record an outro, so here it is. That is more or less where we're at. I filmed another video and then I smudged this, but you can also see these completely oxidized out. I still don't think I found my perfect match, which is a bummer, but that's okay because we're making it work, and there are so many worse things out there in the world, So not finding your correct concealer shade is not the end of the world. I do hope, I'm holding out hope, that About Face ends up putting out concealers that are hopefully full coverage. That would be major. And I also saw that it's always the person that creates the brand that is in charge of all the formulations and packaging, and not at all her team. So Halsey herself handcrafted a lovely component that I thought looked a lot like a concealer, and I believe it's highlighters or something for festival season. I don't know. I thought it was festival season already, but apparently the summer is coming. So, all that to say that the component looks like something they could possibly use for a concealer. So, I'm hoping. Here is me hoping. Please, Halsey, I am manifesting, as the kids say, that you come out with a concealer that is in that nice little component that we could just swipe on and have the nicest under eyes in the world. That is it. And as a recap, this is Rare Beauty. Boom. This is Kosas. Boom. I believe this is Dior and Givenchy, respectively. This is Tower 28. And then these are the Denonas. And then this is a foundation that even in itself looks kind of peachy on me. Either way, we're trying, you know? That's a scoop, y'all. I hope that you have a lovely day. And I'm going to continue cleaning and decluttering. I just filmed about like an hour or so of me going through all of my Sephora purchases from A to Z. That's going to be up, I think, right before this. And then I'm going to film a declutter. And then I'm going to probably disappear for a couple more weeks. So that's exciting. The only other makeup product I have is that's coming in the mail is the Stoned palette. I'm so excited. It's a Get Stoned palette, and I really hope that it doesn't give me contact dermatitis, because that is my default terror of being scared of contact dermatitis. So I hope that's not the case, because I love the shades in that and I think they're so pretty, and it also makes me completely okay with the fact that I'm going to probably let go of the majority of my Natasha Denona collection. But that's not in this video. See you later. Have fun. I hope you enjoy the weekend ahead. And stay cool, y'all.